We'll have a live look over the White House this morning as the push continues towards November's big election. Both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are looking to win over voters on one of the big issues. It's the economy. Let's bring in our Joe St. George live from Washington this morning. Joe, we have heard a lot from both of the candidates, right? But when can we expect a more detailed policy proposal, really, from both of them?
Yeah, and I think what you're alluding to is just how 2024 has just really felt different, right? I feel like most of the mornings we're talking about unprecedented events, candidates in, candidates out. It's been a very personality-driven campaign, but we know that people tend to vote on the issues that matter to them. And what is that one issue that keeps popping in poll after poll as the number one issue on voters' minds? The economy. I think this week may, and maybe I'll regret saying this come the end of the week, but it may look a little bit normal in the sense of a focus on the economy from both sides. We're going to get a speech in North Carolina for those watching in coastal Carolina, North Carolina this morning. All the important part of the Tar Heel state. There is a belief that it is a real swing state. Donald Trump will be there Wednesday, outlining his economic vision. There'll be some new inflation numbers out tomorrow morning. We'll get a better idea if we're heading towards a recession or if we're heading towards a soft landing, as the Federal Reserve likes to say. And later in the week, Vice President Harris is going to talk about the economy too, as well as some of her policy goals going forward. There's a lot of differences between both of them, and those differences will be on full display throughout the rest of this campaign. But there is one area of agreement. Both former President Donald Trump and Vice President Harris have signed on to support a plan to say no taxes on tips for service workers. Former President Trump backed that proposal first, and then in recent days, Vice President Harris backed it as well. So while there's a lot of differences, there are some similarities. We'll keep an eye on what both presidential candidates say this week regarding the economy. This issue matters.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so policy on the horizon, that's next. But before we move on, last night, former President Trump returned to X, formerly known as Twitter, for that live conversation with owner Elon Musk. We heard that there were some tech issues that happened, but overall, what were the big takeaways?
Some billionaires throw fundraisers for presidential candidates. Elon Musk basically threw Trump a rally last night, a virtual rally on social media. Pretty consistently had about 1 million people listening in on the feature known as Spaces. This morning, Musk has said that it's had over 1 billion impressions, various listening globally with the global reach that X has. So that does speak volumes to what the social media site, at least Elon Musk, thinks it's capable of doing in the coming years. You mentioned those technical difficulties, very similar to what Governor Ron DeSantis experienced when he launched his presidential campaign so many months ago. The chat was delayed about 40 minutes. Musk had said there were some attacks on the servers. That has not been verified by any outsider. But as far as the conversation, and that's what it was billed as, a conversation, Musk had endorsed Trump already for the presidency. It was very much like a deconstructed Trump rally speech. Not a whole lot of news was made, but one part did stand out to me when Elon Musk in the 2-hour-plus conversation said that he thought there should be some sort of commission that looks at cutting government spending and abuse, and Musk pitched himself to be a part of that commission, and Trump seemed to agree. So perhaps in a hypothetical Trump second term, there would be a role for Elon Musk to play in all of this as well. Something we'll be keeping an eye on as the race for the White House, the path to the White House continues. We're getting closer and closer to when early voting starts. Early voting starts in Virginia on September 20th. That's not too far away.
Yeah, it's going to be here before you know it. Less than 3 months until Election Day, too. So let's hope that the rest of the week stays quiet. Joe St. George live for us in Washington. Thanks so much.